All right, so what got you here won't get you there. Today we are talking about the law of the lid. John Maxwell talks about this, and the law of the lid basically says that your leadership ability does not necessarily equal your effectiveness. Okay, I think Einstein said it like this. I probably won't quote him directly, but he said the thinking that got you here is not going to get you there. So as new leaders, many new leaders I work with, they are hired because they know something, right? That's what they think anyway. When in reality, they're hired because they knew something and they did something at one point. Okay? There's something on their resume or their past history or experience that somebody noticed, and that's why they got hired for that position. Okay? But past performance won't guarantee your future success. Let me say that again. Past performance won't guarantee your future success. So research shows at most you have about 6 months of what we call free credibility. When you're hired on to be a leader, people give you the benefit of the doubt. After that 6-month time, if you have not done something to build relationships and get results for the team, you start losing credibility, and pretty fast. Okay? So I had a leader that I was working with not too long ago. They came into the team, and the people that hired her really did a great job of boosting her up, right? So she came into her position and she's like, yes, I'm amazing. And she operated out of that belief of being amazing. The only problem was she had a really good belief of being amazing, but her effectiveness didn't show it. So she had been a classroom teacher and she was moved up into an assistant director role, two completely different skill sets. She was an amazing classroom teacher, not so good at the directorship. And things started to fall apart. So she came and she said, Michelle, please help me. I can see the writing on the wall. They're going to get rid of me. Help me. So we had to kind of backtrack and say, listen, you're in a brand new field now, right? There are things that you're going to have to learn that you have never known before. You can't just ride the coattails of what your successes were before and think you're going to be able to do that new thing. Okay? The thinking that got you here won't get you there. So let me contrast that with another leader who came to me for some coaching. More thinking partner, I think. So he jumped into a new position, and his position, actually, he was the head of a sales team. He had about 12 guys under him, and he got bumped up into a regional sales manager position where all of a sudden he's got 60 people under him. And so as soon as he got the job, he called, he said, Michelle, I've got this job. Help. I said, it's going to be okay. I said, the good thing is you have 6 months of free credibility. So even if you screw up, they're still going to like you. And so what we did was we created this plan for him. And he basically came in. He's just a humble guy at heart anyway. He was really, I think, headhunted for the position because he was a person of character. So his job was to come in and try to figure out as much as he possibly could about the people, not only that he was serving, customers, clients, and his people, but about the people that were coworkers, right? And also the people that were his bosses, and processes and products and all of that. So he used his first 6 months to really gather data and build relationships, make connections, get to know people. And I got to tell you, he started to see results pretty fast. And then, of course, he was building his own credibility. So what's the difference between the two? The only difference between those two were the attitude that they walked in the door with. The first leader had the attitude, I am amazing. People tell me I'm amazing. I just must be amazing all the time. And the second was, I know I'm amazing, but this is something totally new and I need some help. Okay? So think about that for yourself. Which attitude do you tend to take into new experiences with you? The one that says, I've got this, or the one that says, I've got this and I might not know everything? So there's 3 powerful questions that you can ask. The first one is, what don't I know? Okay? And this is a great question, not just to ask yourself, but to ask other people. So for example, if I'm working with a new group of people for the first time and I come in and I'm like, hey guys, what don't I know? What don't I know about your processes, your systems, your goals? Where do you want to go? Right? The second one is, who do I need to know? Sometimes there are people on the team that you need to get a little more acquainted with. They might not have a position, but they definitely have a lot of influence. Okay, that's a person you need to connect with. And what is the why behind what this group says and does? So I'm not talking about knowing the mission, vision, and values, although that's great. But what I find typically is that businesses, companies, organizations, they often have their stated mission, vision, values, and then they have the mission, vision, values that show up in real life, right? So they might state, we value everybody's time, but they allow people to be late to a meeting, right? So what is the why behind what people do? Now, this requires a little bit of observation, noticing, maybe asking some questions, really just getting curious, okay? So I tell you all this because, ride that 6-month wave, but do it smart, okay? Ask questions, get to know people, make connections. Then, when you know what changes you need to make, you've built the credibility so that when you get there, people will be ready for that change, or at least a little more ready, okay? I promise you, if you use this, you will thank me for it later, okay? Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. Hope this added value to you today. The one thing that I will say for those of you who are listening or watching, I know you've probably heard this before, but we have a search engine that you can go in and you can get immediate answers. I've had a ton of emails this week from people, emails, personal messages from social media, that kind of thing, asking, Michelle, this is the issue I'm dealing with. How can I take care of that? And immediately I think of 3 podcasts and a video that I had just recorded, 6 months ago. Now, the problem isn't that you're asking the question, it's that I'm so busy sometimes to even answer your question, and then I feel bad. It's like 3, 4, 5 days later before I answer your email. And then when I answer your email, I'm like, oh man, you could have taken care of this yourself because we have the search engine. So I'm going to put the link in the comments, and you can go and search for anything. So whatever your topic is, if you put in keywords related to that topic, I promise you, you will find something. If it is leadership or personal professional development related, most likely I've already done a podcast or a video on it, okay? So that's a way that you can plug into me, get me to answer your questions, but quicker, okay? Because I want you guys to get quick answers to your questions so you can move on. And then after you have used the search engine, if you're like, okay, that didn't give me enough, just shoot me an email and say, okay, I searched for this. This is what I got. Help. I would be more than happy to help you with that, okay? Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a blessed day. And with that, I release you into the wild. Go forth and prosper. Have an amazing day, and we'll catch you next time. All right. Bye-bye.